Hello, guys. A little something to share today. Buckle up. Hello, everyone. Today I'm back in Irondale. Decided to go for a little drive up here. It took me forever to get up here this time. I wish there was a bathroom close by, but I might have to improvise. Whatever. I enjoyed a nice dinner with my son the other day. The Nathan. Hey Nathan, how you doing? And we went to a very nice little Chinese place. And it had pretty good reviews. The food was okay. You know, I got the General Tso chicken, I think it's called. It was decent. I really wanted more chicken in it. It was more like more bread than chicken. But the atmosphere was good. They were trying. You could tell they cared about their customers. You could feel the love. And me and Nathan, we had a nice little conversation. We waited probably 30 minutes for them to open because they had to go run some errands. So we had some deep conversations about, you know, what reality is. Some about propaganda and other topics were touched on. We got to the point where I'm opening my fortune cookie. You know, you always gotta read the fortune cookie. I mean, think about it, it was probably printed in China and sent across the world. I don't know. I think mine was made in Georgia, but anyway. So open mine up. I can't remember what Nathan said, but mine said something to the effect of focus on the color yellow and good things will come. Something to that effect. Focus on the color yellow. So, okay. Gotcha. Keep that in mind. So, initially, you know, I'm like, okay, I got a yellow car. Cool. It's kind of coinkydink. I got a yellow on my hat. That's another coinkydink. Making sense. Look around the restaurant, the walls are yellow. Nathan even said my eyes were yellow. Nathan. My eyes are not yellow. But anyway. Teeth might be a little yellow. So that was kind of, you know, I'm taking all that in. I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe there's something to it, you know? So I think a day goes by. Maybe the next evening, I'm spending some time in the car just sitting for several hours. And I decided to relocate. Upon relocation, there's a detour. They're working on one of the roads, and I'd forgotten about it. So I cut through the neighborhood, one of the Mill neighborhoods, and I noticed that they had put up a new park. This park had walking trail, on it now. Didn't used to have it. It's got a bathrooms. It's plus. Right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll walk around this thing. You know, I haven't stretched my legs in a while. So I'll go, you know, do a lap. So I do a lap. Come back around. I see this little box. It's like a... Have you ever seen one of those like little mini libraries? It's got books in there. You take one and you get a chance. You put one back, or you just take one. If you don't have a book, it's okay. Just put one in there later on. It's kind of like book exchange. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I could use a book to read. Why not? So I'm to my surprise, it's pretty full. I'm looking in there. Nothing's really striking me. I see some Tom Clancy. You see some, you know, your usual stuff. And then I see, what's this book that's turned around the opposite way? It's like the only book turned around to where the pages are like facing me instead of the title. Let's pull this out. So I'll pull it out and I'll show you the cover. I'll show you the cover. This is the book that I found, guys. It says, I Never Knew I Had a Choice. Explorations in Personal Growth. It's just a textbook. Structures edition. And it's yellow. Guys, what are the odds? What are the odds, guys? Let me continue telling the story. It's interesting. Okay, so it's a textbook about personal growth. So I flipped through it a little bit, and I'm like, okay. Let's see what it says. And then I come to a little section, and I read something that I had never heard before. And it kind of hit home. I will show it to you while I read it to you. Just wanted to take a little pause and show you all these colors on those trees. The yellow on the green. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. I'm about to read y'all a little paragraph from a psychoanalyst called, his name was Erik Erikson. And he wrote this, he coined the term generativity in the 1950s. It's a concern for establishing and guiding the next generation. Just so we'll know what that is when we start reading. So here's what caught my attention, because it's focused at me. Life during the 40s. For Erikson, he's the psychoanalyst, the stimulus for continued growth in middle age is the core struggle between generativity and stagnation. Generativity includes being productive in a broad sense. For example, through creative pursuits in a career, in leisure time activities, in teaching or caring for others, or in some meaningful volunteer work. Two basic qualities of the productive adult are the ability to love well and the ability to work well. Adults who fail to achieve a sense of productivity begin to experience a form of psychological death. Okay. That caught my attention. By the way, guys, check out that rainbow. Snuck up on me. It snuck up on me. There it is. When you're outside a lot, you see a lot of them. Beautiful. Paint me a picture. Paint me a picture. Look at that. It's right there. I've been parked here for a while. Just showed up. It's got yellow in it too. I don't know about y'all, but psychological death sounds pretty scary to me. So yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, I haven't read the book yet. I just flipped it open and saw the word psychological death. It's pretty scary. Let me take a little break, and I'm gonna try to remember the rest of the story. So, after getting my little book, I relocated to a different location where I watched a YouTube video from a channel called Heaven Awaits. And it had the video that I watched was a near-death experience of a woman that got rear-ended by a semi-truck. And throughout the video, I guess just it tells the story and it shows you a video while the story's playing, was yellow lines of the roadway. I thought that was kind of interesting. There was a lot of interesting stuff in the video too. I'm gonna try to put the link to that video in the description if I can figure that out. So I'll do that. I won't ruin the video. If you want to check it out, you check it out. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you about the video though. But it was very interesting. And I guess that kind of got me in a kind of a introspective mood this week, and I just decided I didn't really want to do any deliveries. I didn't feel like doing a bunch of mindless work. I just wanted to do some thinking. And so I found this cool channel. It's got a bunch of really old books that are like audiobooks from like early 1900s. And one of them is called, or the channel is called, the Master Key Society. Now, I know it sounds Freemasonry like, but I was listening to one of the books. Forgot what it's called. I'll look it up real quick. Pause. The name of the video is called the Master Key System. It's 6 hours of audio. And I kind of listened to the first section. It's kind of like, the way it's set up, it's kind of like you listen and you like do exercises or whatever. And basically what the first part was saying was, no, I'm not gonna ruin it, but I'm gonna tell a little bit that there's an inner world and there's an outer world. And the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. There was just a lot to it, but it mentioned something about like your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and something about the brain of your unconscious mind is in your solar plexus. I found that to be really interesting. For various reasons. And I'm doing horrible camera work. Please forgive me. But I read a book a long time ago called Spirit of the Rainforest. And I think it was featured on Focus on the Family, like back in the 90s. And it was about these missionaries. They would go into the rainforest and there were a lot of medicine men. That was kind of their deal, you know, like that was the goal of most young men, was become medicine men. And the medicine men would look into the solar plexus to see what spirits were living in you. That's what they did. Of course, they would take a lot of drugs, I guess, homemade drugs that they had. Really interesting book, and I always remember that. Like one of the Indian guys, after he was saved as a Christian. Oh, and by the way, he said the Christians that went over there, they had like light in their solar plexus. They didn't have the evil dark that they were used to seeing, and it scared them. And when one of the Indians came over here to the United States, one of the Christian guys asked him what he thought about coming over here, and like he could feel all the evil everywhere. Like it was the most evil place he ever felt in his life. So, something to that effect. I mean, it was just not good. Of course, I guess it depended on where he was. You know, probably wasn't used to being around that many people. But back to the solar plexus. So I was looking that up today. Like, what are solar plexus? And it's like a group of nerves, like, I guess, near your aorta and near your spine, kind of like where your ribs meet back in there. And I was like, okay, I'll look up, like, how do you, I like looked up, how do you know if you have a healthy one? Like, right? How do you make it more better, right? So I did that. And interestingly enough, one of the things to help your solar plexus, this is talking about your solar plex chakra, they call it, which basically I'm assuming is like just like energy flow through that area, is exercise, sunlight, 30 minutes, exercise 30 minutes a day, walking in the sun, okay, and yellow foods. Yellow again. Yellow sun, yellow foods. Solar plexus, which was talked about in the book Master Key System. And the reason why I started listening to that one was, one, it sounded cool. And I don't know. I kind of wanted to get into something a little deep, learn something a little new. I was feeling introspective. So that's the yellow color for now. Oh, and today also, Holly decided that she wasn't going to talk to me anymore on Snapchat. She unfriended me. And Snapchat is also, the app is the color yellow. So, kind of a mixed bag there with yellow. But yeah. So that's another video. But I'm in Irondale still. There's some neighborhood kids running around. Hopefully mommy will cook them dinner soon and ring the dinner bell so they go home. Or pick up the Little Caesar boxes. It don't matter though. It don't matter. Kids need to be out and about. Don't need to be locked up. Alright. I will pause for now. Bye.